All right, time for back to school, darker evenings, and eventually that cool, crisp bite in the air. Environment Canada is releasing its fall forecast. And after a scary winter prediction from the Farmer's Almanac earlier this week, we wanted a clearer picture of what can be expected. So we are joined in studio again by Dave Phillips. He's the senior climatologist with Environment Canada. Good to have you back.
Good to be with you, Anne-Marie.
All right, I know it was not good for forest fires. It was not good for our farmers in particular out west. But if you were on vacation, I feel like we haven't experienced a long, hot summer like this in a really long time. What can we expect for fall?
Well, you know, you're right about the summer. It was, some people thought there was too much summer, but not given the winter we had last year and the length of it. And it began early. May was one of the warmest months on record, and right through till August and, hey, maybe even September. So it's been a ride. A lot of extremes were created. You know, we think of all of that heat that's been absorbed by the lakes and the rivers and the oceans. It still is going to give it off. So I think that when we go into fall, let's say September, October, there's still a lot of warmth to give up. So I think that we're not going to see all of a sudden a change because the seasons have changed. We're not going to necessarily see a change in the weather. I wouldn't write the obituary on summer-like weather yet. There's still some summer left in the air. And so I think that's what Canadians are going to see. Oh,
that makes me very happy. All right, we hinted at this, that we heard from the Farmer's Almanac. It's going to be a brutally cold winter. What are you expecting?
Well, I mean, I would certainly, if I believed that Farmer's Almanac, I would be either migrating or hibernating. I mean, my gosh, that is, how brutal could that be? And, you know, I'll just remind your viewers that they said in 2017 that was going to be the winter of our youth. Record amounts of snow, cold, cold, cold. It turned out to be one of the warmest winters on record. Wow. So, you know, I mean, it's a very revered publication. They've been doing this for 200 years.
Right.
I love the ads and the recipes in the Farmer's Almanac. I don't, Anne-Marie, believe at all for the forecast. We think there's El Nino. This is this warm water in the Pacific. We think it's neutral now. We're likely to grow to be weak to moderate. And that generally signals for us a milder than normal winter. Now, if it's huge and intense, hey, that almost guarantees it. So it's a little bit uncertain right now, but we think it certainly will seem shorter than last winter and maybe not as tough as it was last year. So we think it will be a little milder than normal, but hey, we're not canceling winter. No. We'll still have winter in the second coldest and the snowiest country in the world. But I think it won't have the sting that we've seen in other times.
You know, we've spoken to a lot of people in the studio this past year who said, you know, forget about this is the new normal, these extreme ranges of temperature, right? This extreme heat we saw this summer. So have we changed the scales? Is the scale different on how we rate our records now?
I think so, Anne-Marie. You know, I think when I was starting out in my career, summers were hot and winters were cold. You could almost, it's what your parents and teachers told you should expect is what we got. Fewer surprises. And now it's almost like a crapshoot. It's like weather whiplash. And even though the science has got better in terms of day-to-day weather, it's almost like the seasons can be, you know, it's like a joker in the weather deck. It's hard to figure out. And I think that's because our jet stream has changed. The ice is disappearing in the north, and it's having a profound effect on our climate on the planet. So I think it's weird, wild, and wacky is the way it goes. And you're right. It's the new normal is expect the unexpected.
All right. Always good to have you here.
Okay,
Thanks, Dave.